Hey gang, it's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Today it's midday. Check that out. I'm coming at you midday here today, fresh off a whiteboard session. And I had an aha I wanted to share with you. The aha here is that you need mental tools in your life, let alone business and marketing, right? Like business and marketing, it can get crazy because we have all sorts of ideas and shiny objects we want to chase. And what happens is if you just keep like dropping things in your head, new ideas and new strategies and new stuff, it can become overwhelming with how to produce a result. Like, what do I actually do with all the stuff I put in my head? I have no mental tools for how to organize and produce a result. Right? So if you think of this analogy like a real tool, like a physical tool, a set of pliers, a saw, a hammer, whatever, pick your favorite tool. Those tools are created to help us do a job, to produce a result that otherwise, without the tool, would take much longer to create, right? I love tools for that reason. What I hadn't thought about for so long in life was having mental tools. A mental tool would follow the same logic, right? Like a mental tool would help us do the work faster, easier. That without the mental tool, it would take longer and be harder. So we need mental tools to create order out of the chaos that goes on in our mind. We need mental tools. As much as we need physical tools to build stuff, we need mental tools to build the things that are in our heart and soul to create in the world. And again, without those mental tools, you're going to feel lost inside the abundance of ideas you have. Okay, so for me, I'm a shiny object guy. I'm a big picture guy. And so ideas come fast. And for the longest time, not having mental tools, what happened was I would try to produce a result in each of them, each of the ideas. You could see this when I was brand new into business at the age of 24 to 26. I created 6 different brands or business cards, right? I changed the name of my business 6 times in 2 years because I'm a shiny object guy. And I was trying to find what was the best way. Do you see, like without mental tools, we go down the road of like, well, what's the best way? Or what's the most strategic way? And we try all these different angles. It's like a mouse in a maze. You go down these different corridors only to find like, nope, that wasn't it. Nope, that wasn't it. Because you don't have the right tools. So, and listen, here's the thing. I would say mindset stuff, right? Like positive mental attitude or mindset, philosophies, like those are not tools. They're principles, like they're ways to think about something, but they're not a tool, right? So that's an important distinction because I've done a ton of personal development. I've done a ton of positive thinking. I do a ton of affirmations, a ton of journaling. Like there's a lot of mindset rituals that I have, but that is not the same thing as a tool. It would be the difference between, if I could put this in a physical context for you, it would be the same as me organizing all of the equipment, all the tool, what's the word I'm looking for? All the supplies that I need for a physical project. Let's say I'm going to remodel something in my garage. I'm going to build a bunch of shelves. And so I go to the store and I buy all the stuff, just like your mind has a bunch of stuff. I go buy all the stuff, the lumber, the nails, the screws, all of the stuff that I need for it. And then positive mental attitude, personal development type of mindset stuff is simply like organizing all the stuff I have. It's not actually building anything. It's just like reorganizing it. So example, I've journaled since college, and journaling is like organizing thoughts. It's like, let me think about that. Let me organize that thought a little bit with my journal. But all the journaling in the world didn't help me produce the result. How do I know? Because I've journaled since college. And evidently it didn't help me for 17 years in business produce the result. Now, it may have helped me get present to my struggles, which is important. It might have had me find empathy for myself. It may have led me down some spiritual paths that opened things up for me. But what I'm specifically speaking to in this episode is producing a result. tools would help me build those shelves or build the things in the garage. Mental tools would actually help you bring to life the things in your mind you want to bring to life in the world. But you can't because they're stuck in your brain. So that's what I realized was missing for me all these years, was a mental tool. And I'm going to give you, I'll use the word framework, a framework or a model. A model is a way to take what's in your brain and move it into action, okay? So I don't know what industry you're in, right? So whatever model there is for you is going to depend on the industry you're in. I have a model that I teach, right? I teach a model in my 6-week program called the Groundswell Method Intensive. For 6 weeks, I work you through this model so that you can continue to bring the thoughts in your head to life using the tool, the mental tool, the framework. So all this to say, if you have felt like you have a lot of ideas you want to implement and you don't know how to get those ideas out of your head, consider that it's not so much about the positive mental attitude you bring to it, but it's about mental tools that you're missing. And if you don't even know what mental tools are, then that's probably the place to start, right? Like, I've got to start to find some mental tools. If you would like help, if you're in business and you have ideas that you want to bring to the world, but you have a hard time articulating them, I have a mental tool for that. And I teach it extensively in my 6-week program. So if you'd like help with that, I would recommend you apply for my next 6-week program. You can go to groundswellmethod.com. There's a free video there, and on the last page of that free video is an application. You fill out that application, and like I said, for 6 weeks, I am coaching you through, walking you through. You are getting repetition with this mental tool that helps your marketing come to life and begins an entire, listen, marketing and the message you're speaking to the world is just where it starts. It is just where it starts. It's not even the whole picture. Once you start to tap into your truth through a mental tool, through a framework, a whole world opens up that otherwise was not available to you beforehand. So join me for 6 weeks where we go through that, and you can apply for my next program. And then there's a whole other world waiting for you on the other side of you tapping into and speaking your truth in the world. Thanks for hanging out with me today in this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until tomorrow when we go live again, have a great day.